Hello, guys. Okay, y'all can hear me. Okay, what's going on, guys? How you guys doing? It's your boy. It's taisworldtv. Sorry, I'm late. Uh, crazy morning going on. I'm kind of still in the middle of setting up, so I need y'all to give me like 2 seconds. Just give me 2 seconds. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Saturday morning. I hope everybody's good. I hope. I hope everything's going good in y'all lives, man. I hope everything's going good. I hope everything's going well. I hope y'all are doing what y'all supposed to be doing. Okay? To be successful. To be successful. Okay. I hope you guys are doing great. Oh man. Yeah, well, we don't have any chapters today. This is just, regular chill out discussion. And I thought, you know what? Let me talk about something that's kind of fun. Something that's kind of been on my mind for the longest time right now. So I figured we could do that today, but honestly, it's a chill stream. We're not gonna there's no, reaction to a chapter out, unfortunately. Because we're on break. So next week we should be getting a chapter. So I say, you know what? Let's talk about some things because I've been wanting to talk about this for the longest time. But I got a chance to do it until now. Oh, and by the way, guys, before we start, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. You guys are the best. And I keep telling y'all that. Y'all are the best, man. I really love y'all. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. You know what I'm saying? Also, we got a couple of videos out. We got Kaiju number 8. We got Dan to Dan. The new episode just came out. So if you're not on it, get on it. We got like a lot of stuff. I don't know if anybody's seen Head of State. I did a reaction for that. Like, go check that out. Ooh, dang, camera looking crazy. Sorry, camera looking kind of crazy. Hold on, y'all. Sorry, y'all. The camera looking kind of crazy, but yeah, we got Heads of State. We got that new episode. I mean, movie out, movie reaction out. So go check that out. If y'all want me to react to any anime movies or movies in general, like whatever suggestions you guys have, please put it in the comments down below. All right. If you want to do it on this stream, that's even better. So I can write it down and we can get on as soon as we can. Okay. Uh, and y'all already know if y'all new to the stream, like, subscribe, share, all that good jazz. All right, so let's get to it, y'all. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Okay, so y'all already see the title. Oh wait, no, honestly, I apologize. I want to see. Hold on, guys, because I want to see. Oh, okay. I want to see, guys, if the One Piece live action trailer is coming out because I heard it's coming out today. I hope it's coming out today because we about to do a reaction for that, if anything. Hold on, let me see. Because I've been waiting for the One Piece live reaction to come out, bro. The season 2. We ain't getting no trailer. We ain't getting nothing, y'all. Hold on, y'all. All right, we okay. So we never got nothing so far. Okay. All right, but we on trailer watch today, y'all, because I heard it was gonna come out today, so we got trailer watch. But for right now, we're gonna talk about the Admirals. That's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about the Admirals, and does Oda hate them? That seems to be the question. Does Oda hate the Admirals? Right? And this is why we're talking about it because there's been ever since Marineford, ever since Whitebeard pulled up started a whole war with Whitebeard. I mean, with the world government to get Ace. And ever since Shanks came through, and everybody did not want no smoke. There were 3 Admirals there. There were Sengoku, Garp, a lot of Marines, a lot of strong Marines, the Vice Admirals. Everybody was there. Everybody was there. And yet, when this crew of 5 or 6 people came, Shanks came in and was like, yo, who want the smoke? Because this is over. We're done. The main character just got destroyed. Nah, son. He got made into a donut, bro. Nah, son. We're not doing that no more, son. We're not doing that no more. We're done. Everybody was like, okay, we're done. Sorry. I'm sorry, sir. So ever since then, there's been an Admiral hate for the long time. Like, people have been saying for the longest time that the Admirals are weak, especially compared to Yonko. Like ever since then, it's been a war of who was stronger, the Admirals or the Yonkos. And most people, from what I've seen in social media throughout the years, most of them have said the Admirals. I mean, I'm sorry, no, the Yonkos. I'm sorry. Specifically, Big Mom, Kaido, Whitebeard, and Shanks. And I wouldn't be really opposed to that. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be opposed to it, just because if you look at what Shanks did and what Whitebeard did, there are only 2 Yonkos, bro. And mind you, they not Big Mom and Kaido. Whitebeard came with a singular purpose to get Ace. He didn't come there to destroy Marineford. He didn't come there to take over the world government. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure if he can. Well, especially since he's not, he's not young. He's an old man when he invaded Marineford and fought everybody. He's not, he's an old dude. You know what I'm saying? So, but even so, he fought 3 Admirals, mainly Akainu. Almost killed this man. Almost killed him. Or we was attempting to. And he did all of this just to defeat, to get Ace. That was the only reason for him to get Ace. He wasn't trying to destroy the world government. He was just trying to just get Ace. That was the whole thing. That was the whole thing about it. So I get it, and it's an arguable thing if maybe Shanks, Big Mom, Kaido, and Whitebeard, if they all got together, could they destroy the world government? I don't know, because Emu's in play, and then the God Knights are there too, and we don't really know how strong they are to a certain degree. We don't know if they're stronger than a Yonko or as strong as a Yonko. But they are imbued with Emu's power. So for what we see. And Emu can do crazy stuff. Even the Gurusei, they can do crazy stuff too. You know what I mean? There are levels of hockey that we're not even aware of now. Because when we actually, even looking at the latest episode of One Piece, Saturn is coming out from the rubble, and he's using, and all this hockey is coming out, and it's not like it's not red and black. It's like it's not neon. It's like, dang, what's that? It's like multiple colors and black. So it's something completely different from what we've seen before. And that's the crazy thing, right? Because we don't know what hockey, we still don't really know much about hockey aside from the armor. Like it can boost your stats. It can hurt Logias. It can negate other devil fruits. Like, it seems like hockey can do other things outside of what we actually know, right? So we don't know the full totality of it. We don't even, because we've seen the same hockey lightning being used for the God's Knights to transport. So honestly, even when you look at Joy Boy's hockey, like, he knocked out damn near everybody in that island. Damn near. And we talking about Vice Admirals. We talking about the Gurusei. He sent the Gurusei back. Emu was out here shaking in her black booty boots. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but like I said, it's crazy. It's like, yo, it's crazy. And that's the thing, because we, like I said, we really don't know what kind of hockey is available. So, and I'm saying that to say this: with Emu out here now, I don't know if they would have been successful in stopping Emu, because that's the thing. The Yonko are gonna have to go through Emu, bro. They're gonna have to at some point. Emu is even gonna come down there, or, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if they could. I don't know if they would be successful in tearing down Emu. I don't even, to be honest with you, I don't even know if they'd be successful in destroying Marineford, like, altogether. Like, the world government altogether. I don't know. I don't know. And the only reason I don't know is because I think the Admirals are maybe not as strong as the Yonkos. If they work together, I think they could combat the the Yonkos, yes. But again, y'all got to look at this too. I'm gonna use Kaido, for instance. I'm gonna use Kaido for this example. So Kaido is a very strong person. He's one of the strongest. He's the strongest creature in One Piece, as Oda deemed, and that's how we've seen it. My man ran through 15 people, bro. He ran that fade with 15 people and won 15 damn times, bro. Insane, bro. Insane. And these ain't weak people neither. These are strong ass people, especially the main character. He beat the main character's ass like 3 times. And I don't even feel comfortable giving Luffy that win when he's Gear 5, because Kaido kind of, like, allowed himself to fucking lose. Just because, yo, this dude, he was already kind of nerfed, because he's holding up Onishigama, so his stamina is draining. But while he's still fighting too. So the stamina drain is there. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he kind of always, he always had that nerve. So it is what it is, but he still fought brilliantly. He still fought. Still won. You know what I mean? And again, like, I feel Kaido. And again, y'all come in these comments and let me know what y'all think. Excuse me. But Kaido, I arguably, I feel like the dragon form is his most useless form. Yeah, it's powerful, but it's like you can't really move. You can't do stuff. He should have stayed in his hybrid form, and I felt like he could have really killed Luffy in Gear 5 if he wanted to. I really feel that way. I don't know, man. Y'all tell me, because I don't know. Anyway. So, but this is the same guy that's been locked up many times by the world government, which means he must have fought with a couple of Admirals. He had to. With his power level, he had to. And they tried to get rid of him. They tried to execute him. They couldn't do it. Nothing could stop this man. Nothing. So they left him alone. So if he was that strong, and I'm not saying he's not strong, if he was stronger than the Admirals, right? I feel like he would have taken over Marine first if that was the case. Either one of them would have took any one of them would have took over the Marines right now to the world government. They would have destroyed the world government and tried to take it over, and none of them never did that. Now you can say, yo, it may be a case of, yo, you stay over here, I'm gonna stay over here, and we're gonna keep it copacetic. Y'all do, I don't care what y'all do, just leave us alone. Leave me and my crew and my fraction alone, right? That could be that, or it could be the fact that maybe, just maybe, and I'm just saying, just maybe, the Admirals are that strong. I'm just saying. But and I bring this up too because rocks. Rocks D's the back. Ever since he got introduced, it has caught the One Piece world by storm, bro. This dude. Now, here's the thing, because I know some people are like, yo, why are people wilding out because of the feats? Because we already knew about this before. Yes and no. It's one thing to kind of hear it, because all we heard was he formed rocks and Whitebeard. I'm sorry, no, Garp and Roger had to team up to defeat him. Now we already kind of knew he was strong. That's true, 100%. Seeing it and believing it, seeing it and hearing about it are two different things. And there were things we didn't know, like the fact that he went to marry Joa. Look Emu dead in her eye, was like, yo, I got your people. I'm holding them for ransom. And let me tell you something. I'm going to come back and I'm going to get you. All right? Bro. They ran out of there, clashed with King Harold, who was an ancient giant. They were like neck and neck with each other, bro. Neck and neck, bro. But even before that, that man killed an admiral. 1v1 with no difficulty. No difficulty. But let me tell y'all something real quick. Because some people kind of took that the wrong way as like, oh, you see, the Admirals are so weak. Oh my God, Ross destroyed them easily. Right. But tell me who has ever defeated an Admiral 1v1 and won or killed them? To my knowledge, I don't know no one that's done that. Now, is it possible? Yes, it is possible, but it's not as easy as people think it's going to be. Because I do think the Admirals are strong. I think the problem was ever since we got to New World, right? We never really saw the Admirals like that. We barely saw any Admiral. Barely. The only Admiral we really saw was Fujitora. The OG ones, Akainu, Kizaru, and Akainu. I'm sorry. Oh no, we saw Akiji too, but that's when we found out he's with the pirates or with Blackbeard's crew. But still, they're fractured. One quit, and then they had to get two more dudes, Fujitora and Greenbull. But even yet, still, like we and even when you saw Greenbull, I mean not Greenbull, Fujitora, it was during the Dressrosa arc, and he was showing his display of power. He probably was still holding back though. He was holding back for sure. Because even though he showed tremendous strength, like my man was out here, like yo, he was shooting meteors, bro. He was like Maru Uchiha, bro. He's just chucking meteors from the air, bro. So I mean, yeah, he's very dangerous. You know what I'm saying? However, I don't think he really like cut loose with anybody. You know what I'm saying? You know, so other than that, we really didn't see the Admirals like that. And when you don't see things for a while, you tend to forget sometimes. And people just forgot how strong the Admirals are, man. And again, like I don't disagree that they might be stronger than Yonkos. No, I don't disagree with that at all. It's just I don't know specifically if the Yonkos would dog wash the Admirals like that. I don't know. And I'm taking Shanks out of this. I'm taking Shanks out. I'm sorry. I should have clarified. Sorry, I should have clarified. I'm taking Shanks out of this just because of the fact that I feel Shanks is the closest one that can defeat an Admiral. For sure. But also, this is the other problem too. I feel like we never really saw an Admiral fighting Yonko. We never really saw that. We saw Whitebeard, old Whitebeard, an old man Whitebeard fight Admirals. But we never really saw a Kaido or Big Bomb fighter Admiral. So it's very hard for me, at least for me. And again, this is my opinion. I think it's hard for me to dictate if the Admirals are that weak or not, and compared to Yonkos. That's the thing. And the reason I also bring this up is because people, and I've seen this on Reddit especially, like, yo, people really think that Luffy is strong enough to defeat an Admiral. I disagree. And I love Luffy as a character. He's the main character, all this. However, that doesn't, exclude from the fact that, this guy, he's not, he's stronger now than he's ever been. Yes. He's doing things now that he would have never been able to do had he not had Gear 5. He has leveled to the point where sorry, guys, I had to take some medicine. Sorry, guys, I had to take some medicine. I hate taking pills. I really do. Oh shit. Anyway, I mean, Luffy's considered a Yonko, basically. Yeah, sorry. So Luffy's considered a Yonko, right? He's considered a Yonko. And he was considered a Yonko before he even got Gear 5. Like, and truthfully, when I first heard that, I didn't like it because, like, yo, he's not a Yonko. He's not even on a Yonko's level yet. Like, and that's proven when when Luffy goes in Whole Cake and he hits, he tries to hit Big Mom in Gear 5. I mean 4. Bound Man. And that was nothing but a mosquito bite for her. She blocked it with Haki, which is impressive. That Luffy was able to have her block with Haki, which is pretty cool. However, she knocked him back, and then he had to devolve to base form. And it's like, yo, I don't know. I just felt like he wasn't ready to be a Yonko, bro. Because he was out here fighting people he don't need to be fighting. And that'd be my problem with Oda sometimes, because and I've noticed this in the last 10 years or so. Most notably the fight with Kaido. Oda will have Luffy. Excuse me. Oda will have Luffy fight someone that's way above his weight class and will nerf that villain or main obstacle just so he could defeat that person. And it's like, I'm getting tired of that too. Like, Luffy is a Yonko. He's supposed to be Yonko level. He's supposed to, and again, you got to give him grace because he just, realistically, he just went out to sail like 2 years ago in One Piece time, maybe almost 3, I guess. You know, but then again, you know, he doesn't need a job or anything, so it's like, you know, he has more time than the normal person in modern day to train a lot. So I mean, that's possible, especially if he knows or sees a person do something, he can figure it out and do it. But he still doesn't have the necessary experience to be fighting dudes like Kaido or Dofi or Big Mom and win. And that's always kind of been my problem with Luffy, right? He just gotta. I just need him to be at a point where he could fight someone 1v1 and not have to rely on someone else. Because honestly, a lot of his major fights have been, well, in New World, I would say. A lot of his major fights, honestly, are 1v1s. Well, he destroyed Caesar and Hardy, but he needed help with Dofi. He had to Katakuri had to nerf himself basically to give Luffy a chance. And then on top of that, you got Kaido, who wasn't giving Luffy no quarters, bro. He's right out the gate. I'm knocking the shit out of you. And he did. And he knocked the shit out of Luffy like 4 times after that, bro. Crazy. You know, so Luffy has come across very strong people, but I feel like they have to get nerfed in order for Luffy to even have a chance of winning. And I feel like that's the problem, right? That's the problem for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just me and my opinion. I don't know. But yeah, man. Like, I don't know, man. Like, what do you guys think? Yo, come in the chat, bro. Come in the chat so we can talk about this. You know what I'm saying? Definitely come into the chat, bro. You know, and that's the question that I need answered. Like, is Luffy able to, with his new ability of Gear 5, he's had it for a while. Is he strong enough to do Elbaf? I'm talking about Elbaf. Is Elbaf Luffy strong enough to defeat an Admiral? That's the question, bro. And to be honest with you, I don't think he's strong enough to defeat an Admiral. I don't think he's strong enough yet. He can fight an Admiral because he proved that when he fought Kizaru. Like, Kizaru was out here cutting up with Luffy, bro. Now he wasn't really trying to kill Luffy. No, he's trying to do his objective, but he had to try more than usual. So I gotta give it to Luffy for that. However, you could tell that, you know, Kizaru, we haven't really seen the full extent of his abilities. That's the thing too. oh, excuse me. We haven't really seen the full extent of his abilities. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. I don't know, guys, because we really haven't seen the full extent of his abilities. So I can't. I got something on there. Okay. So I can't really sit here and say he wasn't going full tilt, But something tells me he wasn't going full tilt with Luffy. And I'm not putting down Luffy at all, honestly. But still, Luffy was able to knock down Kizaru for sure, but he really wasn't able to he wasn't able to put Kizaru down for very long. If anything, Kizaru had Luffy dead to rights because he got back up and Luffy could not get up. So again, I need Luffy to be able to, as a Yonko, I need Luffy to be able to do what he can, and like I need him to be the Admiral, bro. 1v1, no help, no distractions, like just straight on 1v1. You know what I'm saying? That's what I need, guys. That's what I need. Actually, I want to see something real quick, y'all. Hold on a second. Okay, so guys, we're gonna react to this real quick because I actually wanted to react now that we here. So I don't know if you guys know this dude, but this guy's name is All Father Silver. I've reacted to a couple of his videos. I've been enjoying them videos. But I wanted to watch this because I need to see what's up with the Admiral agenda, because that's what we really talking about this stream. So let's look at this real quick. Let me just set it up real quick for you guys. Hopefully I can bring it up here. Hopefully. Here we go. Okay. All right. I think I'll do it this way. Okay. Let me know if you guys can hear. Let me know, okay? Let's see. Because this is my first time doing it on this, so I'm not 100% sure this is going to work, but let's see.
Peace is real, ladies and gentlemen. Oda is a part of the Admiral agenda. What a week. We have so much to talk about today. First and foremost, I want to say we got a huge reveal.
Okay, hold on, y'all. I just want to make sure y'all can hear it. Hold on 1 second.
About Kizaru being the one to feed Luffy. I talk about all this in my previous video, so check that out if you want the discussion for that. We're not going to talk about it here. There will be some more Kizaru information, though, toward the end of the video. First and foremost, though, we're going to start off with Garp. Absolute confirmation that Garp is a Conqueror's Haki user in his Viver card. This is something that a lot of fans are not going to be surprised by. We should have expected this. It should have been common sense, but there were select few that did not believe it, and we're going to hold firm on the position until it's fully spoon-fed to you. He does not have it. So with that being said, that debate can finally be put to rest. He 100% has Conqueror's Haki.
Yo, and to speak about that real quick, let me tell y'all something. Like, the fact that Garp has like a different color, And that's what I hope you guys notice with all of these different hockeys that we see. A lot of them have different color. Like the higher level ones, they have different color. Like I said, with the Gorosei, they have like Saturn specifically, he has a different color that we would normally see. And even Shanks do agree. It was like, I think it was almost yellow or gold and red. So there's different types of hockey out here, like we were talking about before.
Highlighted here. Now with Garp, we also have more information in his Viva card, which a lot of fans, again, opposing the Marine agenda, opposing the Admiral agenda, are not going to like. It stated that following the Paramount War, rumors swirled that this legendary Marine would step down from the front lines. However, far from fading, he became even more active and determined in enforcing his version of justice. Garp's justice is simply my justice. Now he vigorously trains the young Marines who will lead the Navy's future, like Kobe and Helmeppo, and is greatly respected by the younger sword members. Of course, his strength remains intact, having once pushed even Roger to his limits. His relentless training over the years allows him to instill fear in pirates everywhere, even today. Ton to unpack there. For one, this corroborates everything we talked about Garp, Whitebeard, a lot of these older legends retaining strength. Now, that's not going to be the case for every old man in One Piece. People can come up with examples. But for these guys in the upper echelon, it seems to remain a theme, and Oda specifically singled these guys out, showing them in his SBS. The SBS claims that Oda did not like the idea of old men becoming irrelevant, losing their strength, so he made a concerted effort to make them maintain their strength. Whitebeard and Data Book Yellow has also stated retain his strength.
So, I mean, if that's the case, then what All Fathers is saying, basically, Garp is still strong. Like, he's as strong as he was back in when his prime, basically. So he never lost that strength. That's the thing. I mean, honestly, you can see it. Honestly, like he dog walking a lot of people, bro.
Now, a lot of people have a lot of problems with this because they just don't understand this concept and they just don't think that it makes a lot of sense. But I will say that, unfortunately, in a debate sense, now with this again, and with the fact that in the actual manga, through the flashback, you have a metric to gauge Garp's strength through the Aokiji flashback, as you see that Aokiji's sound correlating to his strength progression, and Garp's remains the same throughout all the decades that pass. You can firmly say confidently in a debate that Garp has retained his strength. Now, obviously, if you want to get into the semantics of what a prime is, you can go there, but at best, you're never going to be able to get past a marginal decline, if anything, and that's just being generous. Some people aren't going to take that and be happy with it, but it's just the facts at this point. One thing you have to understand is that it's not really supposed to make sense from a logical standpoint in our real world, because that's Oda's intention. Oda's intention was to go against the norm of old men getting weaker. That's the whole point of what his SBS means. So when you look at it with that kind of context, it makes far more sense, especially considering that Garp is actively training. And with what's stated in this, it's almost as if he's more resolved than ever, because he's extremely focused on training the new gen, extremely focused on instilling these great lessons to them. I'm going to address this because I know somebody's going to bring it up in regards to Garp's strength being maintained. He does make a claim 2 times in the manga that he basically thinks his power has declined. Now, the first statement that says the cannonballs fly half as fast as they used to, and the second statement that says he thinks he's losing his edge, are both actually wrong. The raw kanji basically just says he thinks he's declined for both, so it's almost like it's a callback in Hachinosu to what he said in Water 7. Now, the context in the Water 7 one is funny anyway, because he's throwing the cannonballs at Luffy. He's obviously not going to capture Luffy, and in both it's comedic relief because there's heavy devastation that takes place, like with one cannonball with his bare hands, as Sanji says, crazy, and then in Hachinosu you see clear comedic relief with the people reacting to the impact of the city being leveled and everything. So there's a couple interpretations you could take. First and foremost, I do want to say that in a debate sense, trying to use these things to contradict the other statements isn't gonna work, and here's why. Usually manga would always trump all, but you have to look at the quality of the statement. So even though this is Garp making a claim about his own strength, it is still a knowledge claim, which is very loosely based. So getting very technical in it. If you were going against a skilled debater, they would be technical about how would Garp know the specifics of the power that he once had versus now. It's very plausible that you could believe you were a certain level of strength, and that's not reality based on just memories, reminiscing on your heyday. Also, what is he comparing it to? Were the very
Hold on. Quotes like this are why knowledge claims aren't credible in most cases. Obviously, this is an extreme example, but there are countless others throughout the series. Yeah, you had a lot of dudes thinking that they was the strongest thing in the world. Like Don Krieg here, bro. He wasn't nothing but technology, bro. But then you get to like Crocodile and the Admirals and Dorian Brogy and Sentamaru, and that's crazy. It's just crazy.
Variables that he was punching at the time or throwing at the time the exact same? Is the distance the exact same? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, where you can get super technical into it, like, oh, what are the buildings like? You could get really fucking nitpicky. I'm not doing that here. I'll say that the interpretation
What's going on, my guy?
that makes the most sense, that I think would appease most people, and that I kind of alluded to, is that you could come to a conclusion that there is a prime level of strength.
I'm glad you're on stream.
And semantically, because prime, you can't have a prime that lasts your whole life. A prime is the peak of your life. He can't maintain that forever. So it's fair to say that there's some diminishment. It's just not a significant enough portion to where it's relevant to these discussions, where it's not noticeable when you get a visual metric showcasing his power over time. It doesn't constitute him losing a tier of power or dropping off by any significant means. It would be marginal at best. That's the thing. Because there's no quantification for it, it really is irrelevant to discussions, especially with all the evidence I've shown. So I'm not trying to sit here and champion that I don't think he's lost any strength whatsoever. But when we talk about it, it's more so that it's not anything significant. So it's not like Garp would go from Currytown Luffy level to Gear 5 Luffy level. It's not like that drastic of a jump. You could make a claim like if two characters were highly, highly relative, that could be an argument where it's like, okay, they're 100% equal, all things considered. So I'm going to give it to this character in their prime. But as far as the Aokiji Garp one goes, that wouldn't be the case because of how much Aokiji's holding back and the confliction that is present, which I touch on all in my Aokiji Garp video.
I gotta watch these.
So I hope that clears it up.
I gotta watch these.
Also, in that paragraph, it states, once push Roger to his limits, or there's another translation that says like cornered Roger and the same type of thing, but it's talking about and reaffirming the fact that, again, they were rivals, they were relative to each other. Roger himself alludes to this. It's stated in...
Okay, I wanted to talk about that too. I'm glad he brought that up too, because I wanted to talk about that as well. So there's been a lot of stuff going on since the last chapter of people saying that Roger is there's an agenda now that Oda's saying, and basically saying that Roger is like weak. Like, you know, he's not the top dog that we thought he was, because if you see in chapter 1156, he's getting punched by Garp, right? Here's the thing, right? Like, if you really look at that panel, they're both getting hit. One's getting hit with the sword, one's getting hit with the fist, right? And I think that even pushes the fact that maybe not a Kainu, that Roger was more of a swordsman than he was like a physical, like, you know, like a physical fighter. Like, he was more with weapons than anything else. He may have had hands, but I don't know. But, you know, we don't know. We never really saw a whole fight with him, so we just don't really, know. But here's the thing. They're both still equal to each other. Like, they're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not, they're still equal to each other. So it's just like, why are we even talking about this? I just thought it was just weird to even bring that up, for real. Wait, is that my boy? Hold on. Yo, my boy, what's going on, man? You changed your name again? Why you change your name for, man? Zoni, why you change your name, bro? What we are looking at today, I have returned. I see. I appreciate you coming through, my boy. So we're talking about the Admirals, and we looking at an All Fathers Silver video because it adds to me talking about the Admirals. So yeah. So let's keep going, y'all.
Numerous data books and magazines. Here's some of that. So more confirmation of that to don't let anybody cope their way out of the fact that they are relative. You then get another paragraph that says, if forced to weigh the lives of the old against those of the young, he would without hesitation choose the young who will shape the future. Now, of course, that's referencing the last lesson, but you could actually use that in conjunction with the moments of resolve in Hachinosu. Because the situation is, Garp tells Kuzan straight up when Kuzan was kind of deliberating and thinking of the relationship him and Garp have at the beginning, questioning whether or not Garp would actually attack him and want to fight him despite the relationship. Garp says wavering makes you weak. You cannot do that. You must show conviction. This kind of goes in line with that, where Aokiji is the old guard, so to speak. Obviously, he's younger than Garp, but he's the old guard in terms of he's no longer the future of the Marines. If he made his decision to leave, in Garp's mind, he has to protect the new gen. So his resolve for saving Kobe is going to far outweigh anything he has against Kuzan. So there's no hesitation or wavering needed. So, even the Viver card expounds on this further, saying he openly, boldly voices his demands of Kuzan, leaving nothing hidden. He unwaveringly follows his own path. So no wavering from Garp, confirmed in this Viver card. So it kind of dispels that notion that some people were saying that Garp was mentally nerfed against Kuzan, which seems to be very, very unlikely. And that's simply because he entrusts everything to the young Marines, and he must not waver in order to instill them their greatest source of strength. Now, with that said, unfortunately, Kuzan and Kobe do not get confirmation of conquerors like Garp, but definitely do not take this as confirmation they do not have it. Garp is a great example of somebody that's already previously had a Viver card that did not include Conqueror's Haki, and now he does. Yamato has a Viver card where she does not have Conqueror's Haki, yet we know she has it. Same thing could be said for Zoro. Multiple other examples like this exist. So a character not having it originally, mind you, Blackbeard and Mihawk haven't had confirmation either, does not disqualify them from having it in the future when it is later revealed in the story. So don't let anybody lie to you like that. It's just simply the same likelihood it was yesterday. Getting into Kuzan's Viver card, we see that Kuzan got a lot of statements, again, that should be common sense, but I'm glad that they're included here, talking about his admiration for Garp and, as I mentioned in my Aokiji Garp video, the conversation he had with Smoker, where his true feelings were revealed. Does the fire of justice still burn within him? Compounded with the fact that earlier in the Viver card it says, despite being in the darkness, joining the Blackbeard Pirates, does the justice with Kuzan still live on? His true intentions remain unknown. I think it's very clear Kuzan was very distressed with what was happening with Garp. I talk about this in multitude of videos, my Aokiji Garp video.
And you know what's crazy now that I think about it? Homie was both of them have been nerfed though. Like both Aokiji and Kizaru have been nerfed mentally. And it's kind of crazy that it happened around like the same time. This is kind of crazy. And I wonder if that's going to lead to something in the future. Like, is it going to lead to Kizaru leaving the Marines as well? Like, I don't know. Maybe he should, because it's like, I don't know. I don't think he's going to leave because he's very loyal to the Marines. But again, we don't really know why he's loyal to the Marines. That's the thing too. We don't know. Yeah, I had my name changed to my real name. Oh, that's your real name? Gennaro? Oh, shit. Okay. All right, my boy. Got you. Got to put the whole government up there. Even Garp said that Kuzan went all out. Garp would be dead. Did he say that? I gotta reread that chapter, bro. But I mean, listen. I think Aokiji held back. Because he wasn't using his powers to the extreme like he normally would. You know what I'm saying? Like he really wasn't using it like that. That's the thing. That's the thing. Kizaru was very loyal, and his best friend is Akainu. You know, yes, but I need to know why he's so loyal to the world government. Like, yo, they just made him get rid of his best friend, Vegapunk. You know what I mean? So I need to know why specifically is he still loyal with the Marines? Like I gotta understand that. You know what I mean?
And also my revisited video you can check out. But he has to play a part for whatever his major goal is in the end and whatever his justice system is now. We don't know these intentions, but it's very clear here that they're ambiguous for a reason. When it's all put on the table, everything will make a lot more sense. It also happens to be stated in one of Oda's select interview questions this week that Kuzan is not somebody that obeys Blackbeard blindly. He does not obey everything Blackbeard says and goes his own way and is embracing his freedom. So just because he's aligned with the Blackbeard Pirates, it does not inherently make him evil. That's also kind of talked about here, where they touch on the fact that 22 years ago, he froze his close friend who had defied the government, Saul, leaving his fate to destiny, touching on the fact that Kuzan himself has never been afraid to go his own way for what he believes. If you want to hear it from me, I think that these two things right here, they imply Conqueror's Haki. I'm not going to say, of course, that's fucking confirmation or anything. Like, absolutely not. I think that it's pretty obvious that Akainu and Aokiji have Conqueror's Haki, but hey, we can go this same GARP route where you guys say, hey, until it's absolutely confirmed, whatever. In due time, we'll find out. Whether he has it or not, though, it doesn't really matter to me because he has the power to match Conqueror's Haki. Clearly, you saw him clashing evenly with the Garb, who's using Conqueror's Haki, confirmed, all these different things. But I just think that it is very likely that Aokiji and Akainu certainly have Conquerors, as well as Kobe, probably, especially considering Garp has his own counterpart in Sengoku, who is also confirmed to have Conqueror's Haki. The only two Marines thus far that have it explicitly confirmed. While on the subject of one of Oda's interview questions, we also found out some more of Cross Guild's bounties. And when we got Cross Guild's bounty hierarchy, we found out that Akainu actually has a 5 billion bounty. And that's assuming he didn't get a buff from being a special Marine. So baseline, it's going to be 5 billion, could potentially be higher, but is most likely 5 billion. But either way, you have to take into account that this is an organization that should be well less funded than the world government. They have been getting criminal funding, but from a logical standpoint, I don't see them having the same kind of resources. So I'd say that these bounties should probably be inflated a bit. With that context in mind, you can make a real argument that this could be the highest bounty in One Piece. With that said,
I like the fact that Silver's like actually goes deep into it. Like you could tell, like, you know, he really like knows his stuff, and he uses like real lot, you know, like logic to really, you know, to make these type of videos, man. I really like that. That's pretty dope.
Even if you didn't want to take that,
I'm sorry, and on top of that, he uses like what's in the manga to show certain things. So I like that
notion. A 5 billion bounty is something only the likes of Whitebeard and Roger have currently in the series confirmed. Dragon is probably somebody else you can throw into that category, as it was stated he was the most wanted criminal while Whitebeard was alive, which means he should have over a 5 billion as well. But leaving it to those four, I think that there's a clear portrayal there. Bounties don't necessarily equate to strength. We know this, of course, but the portrayal and the concerted effort from Oda to make that a 5 crown bounty instead of a 4 crown bounty, which would have been just as acceptable, really speaks to what Oda has already told us about Akainu. Based on strength, Akainu, if he was the main character, he would find the One Piece and get it all wrapped up in less than a year. Of course, Akainu also has some of the best scaling in the verse, if not the best, which I touch on in my live streams and various of my scaling videos.
Hold on, I want to read this real quick. Luffy worries me most since he defeats main villain right away unless I make him stranded before he arrives at the enemy. So when you create a protagonist in manga, it's not a good idea to make him too strong. See, wait. For example, if Akainu became the protagonist, he is so strong that One Piece would come to an end within a year. I got a problem with that, just because like he's introduced Emu and the Gurusei. So are you saying that Akainu's stronger than the Gurusei and Emu? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. Okay.
This is great information. Love to see the portrayal. Can't wait to see Akainu when he fully goes all out. Now moving on to more Kizaru information. It just keeps getting worse and worse for the Yonko fans that have tried to push a notion that Kizaru wasn't mentally conflicted and he was fully trying against Luffy, and he just got his ass whooped.
I've been
which
hearing
was
that
never the
too on
case.
Reddit.
Even if we were to take all that away, like Kizaru would still have the scaling. I talk about all that in the scaling video. But with all these things, it's so overkill at this point. Any of these Yonko fans that still are in denial about it, it's really sad at this point, because it's like you have no stake. Like, there's no debate. There's no debate about it whatsoever. The intro paragraph for Kizaru says, as a Navy headquarters admiral known for his long-held unique sense of unclear justice, his nonchalant demeanor has always been striking. But this mission was different. The elimination of his close friend, Vegapunk. Bearing his unbearable turmoil, he set out to uphold his duty and position as Admiral Kizaru. Yet, despite his calm approach, his inner anguish could not be fully concealed. With a heavy heart, he finally raised his hand against his friend, and to this day, his sunglasses remain clouded.
And
absolute
you know what's
confirmation
crazy?
there.
All right, you know what's crazy too? You could tell in the anime, and anime really shows this, that this man is conflicted. He's not trying to kill him. He's gonna do it just because that's his duty, but he don't want to get rid of his best friend, bro. He don't want to do it. He not. Come on.
Keeps going though. A best friend with whom joyful times were shared. Ironically, they would meet again in the same place under cruelly tragic circumstances. As if to admonish his wavering, indecisive self caught in his inner conflict, he deliberately voices his mission out loud. So he had to reaffirm himself multiple times throughout. This was right before he fought Luffy, after he just dealt with Sentomaru, talking about all the flashbacks that were at play. Like, Oda made it very clear, like giving you like 20 plus fucking moments of confliction for Kizaru in this shit, where
even
it's
even in the manga, they did the same thing.
It's okay to admit that Kizaru was completely conflicted in this entire arc. And then the best one that takes the cake, taking his best friend's life with his own hands, pushes his mind to the breaking point. Exactly what I said. Look, there's nothing about his body being at the breaking point. At the moment where he stabbed Vegapunk, that was the lowest in the height of his confliction. It was over at that point. He had just, now he was wallowing in his own fucking.
Yeah, because I remember that when Luffy knocked Kizaru, to a ship. And Kizaru could have went back. He could have got back up, but he was like, "Yo, nah, I can't no more. Like, I just got rid of my best friend. Like, as you see in this panel, he's just like, nah, I can't go on, bro. I'm done. I did what I was supposed to do." And that's how you knew that man was conflicted, because he did do his objective, but he would have, if this was anybody else, he would have went back there and did his job. Is what it is.
In anguish. That's when Luffy grabs him. Mind you, he grabbed him off guard, and while he was reflecting on this moment, he was going after Sanji. He didn't even understand what Luffy was doing at that point, grabbed him, and then had no will to fight anymore. Literally none. He didn't have any wounds. That's why people were questioning his wounds. It was already mentioned way back that this was a mental thing. Now it's just reinforced to the 10th degree, okay? So, guys, at this point, like, I'm probably not even going to touch on this anymore on YouTube, because it's just like, it's ad nauseum. We know this. I
know people, especially people like Silvers and even me. I know people are kind of getting tired of like saying this to other people, that believe the other way. And you're entitled to believe what you want to believe. That's fine. But at the same time, it's like, dude, the information's right there. Like it's right in front of your face. This man was conflicted. This man was clearly this man was holding back. Clearly.
Very thoroughly discussed all the things about Kizaru multiple times. And at this point, if somebody's still in denial, you probably shouldn't take anything they're saying as very credible, because at this point, it's invincible ignorance on their part. Undeniable truths present to them. So yes, an absolute wonderful week for the Admiral agenda. Seemed Oda had enough.
All right. We're gonna end it there, guys. We're gonna end that there. But yeah, man, like I said, I just, again, the Admirals are not weak. They're strong too. You know what I'm saying? They just having an off day. Well, two of them having an off day. Yeah, but I've seen that in Reddit too a lot for some reason. Like I've seen this a lot in Reddit specifically, where they like a lot of people really think that Luffy is stronger than him. I mean, that Luffy is stronger than Kizaru. And it's like, no, he's not. If that man wanted to end Luffy that day, he could have. He could have. Luffy's not to that point where he can fight strong people like that. I mean, where he could defeat strong people 1v1 by himself like that. They're not. All right, y'all. Oh, wow. Damn, Zony, you came through. Okay. I didn't even read these. Let me read these. Okay. Damn. Kuzan has conquerors. We can see it in the Clash of Black Lightning. That's true. That's true. But I don't know. I think Garp's his lightning's thicker than Kuzan's is, though. I think. See why Akainu is top 1 above Emu. Oda's words. Akainu does what Luffy has to do in one arc. Well, first off, Akainu is an admiral level person, so of course he's gonna go through the ringer with a lot of people. Crocodile probably Crocodile. And if he has his devil fruit, oh yeah, it's over. It's over. For a lot of characters, it's over. Megaland, I'm not sure. I don't know about that yet. I don't know about Megaland. That I don't know. But yeah, Akainu can defeat a lot of people that Luffy has fought. He can defeat a lot, majority of them. Big Mom and Kaido, again, I'm not even 100% sure of that. That I'm not sure. Oda said Akainu is Luffy's faithful enemy, not Emu. But that's the thing. Like, how are we going to deal with the Emu threat if that's the case? You know what I'm saying, Zony? And again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. It could be right. I don't know. But it's like, what are y'all going to do with Emu then? How is everybody? So is it going to be Emu versus everyone? I'd rather that, honestly. That'd be cool. But I don't know, man. I feel like Akainu is going to be Sabo's main villain, I think. Main enemy. Akainu beats all of what Luffy does and has to do in a year time. Well, again, I don't know what's on there. I got to push back on that a little bit because I don't know if he's going to do that to. I don't know if he's going to do that to Eno, Kaido, or Big Mom. I don't know if he's going to win that like by himself. I don't know. I don't know. Anime time 1 arc. Well, are you including pre-time skip or post-time skip? Because if you're including both, like I said, I don't think he. I don't know. I don't think Kizaru. I don't think Akainu would be able to defeat Big Mom and Kaido like by himself. He's strong enough to fight them for sure. Defeat is another thing. Kizaru said multiple times he doesn't want to fight Luffy and that he was very depressed and wants to be left alone with Vegapunk. Yeah, I mean, that's yeah. I don't know why people find it so hard to believe, like especially on Reddit. Like a lot of people that believe that, Luffy's stronger than Kizaru. Like, no. Luffy wasn't going serious. Yeah, that was the most ludicrous one to me. Luffy wasn't trying to be serious. How? Yo, this is the man that got rid of. I mean, no, not him. This is the man. Not responsible, but this was the man that stopped Luffy and his crew. That basically damn near destroyed his crew, or almost. So it's like, really? All right, whatever. And you know what I love Oda did in a recent chapter? Oda showed what mental is all about. You get to the nerf wait. And you know what I love Oda did in the recent chapter? Oda showed what mental is all about. You nerf to the brim for real. What do you mean by that? I'm not sure what you mean by that, my boy. The young Roger versus young Garp clash. Roger was mentally nerfed while Garp Wasn't, hence why we see Garp on the class. Well, yeah, he was distracted by it. Yeah, he was distracted by Shaggy. So yeah. Okay. I don't know what that means. Yeah, people are full of pig-headed. Oh, exactly. Like I don't know. People just don't want to listen to facts, bro. I don't know. I don't know. I know it was hard for me to accept, but Oda said it, so I'm gonna have to agree. Well, I don't know about that. I think sometimes the authors can be wrong with certain things. Look at Toriyama for Dragon Ball. Like that man done forgot every goddamn thing, but people take his words for as gold. RIP, because he created the franchise. But it's like that man forgot certain things. So it's like, things shouldn't really be happening this way. And that's why I love Oda so much, because, and again, no disrespect to Toriyama. He paved the way for anime and all that. Yes. However, that man forgot a lot of stuff. And I think the story suffered for it, to be honest with you. Oda said Akainu is stronger than Kaido and Big Mom. Meaning in the I don't know about that. See that he might be as strong. I don't think he's stronger. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, bro. I love you, Zoni. I'm gonna have to agree to disagree. I don't know about that. I don't know. But I know he is strong. That for sure. He's strong enough to where Big Mom and Kaido ain't going, Big Mom or Kaido by themselves is not going to Marineford. I mean, it's not going to take over the Marines and shit. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing. They would have done that a long time ago if it was that easy, But I don't know. Even if Oda said that, I don't agree. I got to see a fight. If they show it in the fight, and if he actually loses, and if Akainu actually wins against them, fine. But I don't know about that. Someone asked Oda if his mother can beat Akainu, and Oda said no, but she can't. Oh, okay, that was a joke. Okay. Akainu finishes the series in a year in real time, and in anime, it's 1 arc. I mean, he gets the cube from Zunisha, then Big Mom, and then Kaido, and then marked by flames. I don't agree with that, just because I don't. Well, again, we don't know what Akainu knows in terms of knowledge of the world. We don't know. We know he knows certain things, yes, but we don't. I don't know if he knows everything. That's the thing. I don't know specifically what he knows. And it depends on how we're going to start his journey. Is he going to go with knowing everything? Is he going to have his powers? Like, there's a lot of things we just don't know. There's a lot of caveats to that. So I don't know about that, my boy. In the other, he has to beat Kaido and Big Mom. Oh, in order to do that. Yeah, and that's the thing. I still think the Admirals are strong, for sure. They're strong enough that Kaido and or Big Mom haven't went over there and overtook the world government. So they are strong. That's not even a debate. They are strong. I just don't know if they can defeat in a Yonko 1v1. I don't know, especially Big Mom. Because the thing about Big Mom is Big Mom was kind of nerfed too when they fought Law and Kid, because she could have gotten stronger. She could have just used up a lot of years to get stronger. We just found that out in that fight. So I think she used 2 years or something like that. Had she used 5 or 10 years of her lifespan, I don't know. I would argue to say Big Mom's stronger than Kaido. I would even argue that. The only problem is with Big Mom's mental is not there. So she was already nerfed mentally. And again, that's what Oda does. And that's why I said earlier, if you wasn't here, Zoni, that's the problem that I have with Oda a lot of the times, or sometimes, because he has nerfed people when it came to Luffy. Like Luffy out here fighting Crocodile, And Crocodile, and then almost a Yonko freaking level character. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Oda had to kind of nerf Crocodile so he can win. He did the same thing with Dofi, did the same thing with Katakuri, did the same thing with Kaido. It's like, yo, every time he goes up against somebody, he gets nerfed. And I'm like, nah, bro. If he's that, you know, if he's like that real, then stop doing that. Luffy gotta win a 1v1 fight by himself. He has to. He has to. If Oda said it, I may not love Akainu and I'm not a fair fan, but I agree with Oda. See, that's the thing. I can't do that, bro. I don't know. I don't know. But again, he didn't specifically say the terms of that. Are we talking about post time skip or are we talking about pre-time skip? If it's pre-time skip, yes, he's mowing down through everybody, but he's not mowing down Megalyn. I don't. Even that I don't know because of Megalyn's abilities. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't touch him unless you got hockey. You can't touch him. But again, it's magma. So he probably gonna wash him too now that I think about it. Now, I think he's washing a lot of people pre-time skip, except Rayleigh, except what's his name? Except Rayleigh and Kizaru. He's not washing them. I'm sorry. He's just not doing that. I'm sorry. I don't think he's doing that. And then again, it just depends on like what he's talking about specifically. Akainu is stronger than Prime Garb and Kaido. Nah, don't disrespect. I don't agree with that at all. No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. And again, we don't know if that's the case either because we never saw them fight, so I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I haven't seen them. I personally haven't seen them fight. That's the thing with me. Like, I need to see them fight for me to really say, oh, they're that strong. I need that confirmation. You know what I mean? I don't got that confirmation yet. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm bugging. I don't know. Maybe I'm bugging. I don't know. Hold on. People actually said Luffy wasn't trying to beat Kizaru. Yeah, that is just I can't say the word, but they're not right in the head. A lot of them crazy. View my community post. All the info is there. All right, I'll check it out. But I mean, I'm gonna still stick to what I'm saying because I don't know, man. I know what Oda said. I know what he said. This is the same man that said that we're gonna end One Piece in 5 years. Just saying. All right, what we got here? Darian, what's going on, my boy? Hey, guess who's here? Your favorite donut maker still training underneath Akainu. All right, my man making donuts out here. All right. Thank you for coming in, Darian. You know what I'm saying? Damn. You know what, guys? I'm gonna get out of here. Because actually, I do have to go. So guys, thank you guys for coming through. I really appreciate it. Darian, thank you. Zoni, of course, thank you for coming in. Lofi, thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it. Guys, y'all already know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and share all of that good jazz. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate you guys. Look out for the One Piece episode that's coming out tomorrow. Well, it should be tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then Monday. Look out for Kaiju number 8. That's gonna come out later today too. So go check that out. And let me just read these before we get out. 617 subs. Congrats. Thank you, Zoni. I appreciate that, man. All right, brother. I'll see y'all later. Okay. I'll see y'all later, guys. Be safe. See y'all in the next one.